Many scholars mention that fasting has different levels. Not every form of fast is the same. And they've mentioned that there are 3 levels of fasting. The lowest level of fasting is the level in which you're just staying away from things that break the fast. And you have many scholars, Ibn Qudama, Ibn al-Jawzi, they refer to this as Sawmul Umum. This is the average fast. The fast of those who are average, the average Joes. And this is the bare minimum, right? Because we know that when we eat, when we drink, we do other things that break our fast. This obviously breaks our fast. But this is the lowest level of fast. This is the bare minimum. This is not something that is considered the highest form of fasting. No. Now, we understand that there might be some new Muslims, you're trying it out. Of course, maybe for you, right, this is something to aspire to. Some people that are not used to fasting, especially children, maybe this is a big deal if you're able to actually stay away from food and drink. That's a big deal. But Ramadan after Ramadan, for those of us who have been fasting for years, we should try to aspire to higher levels of fasting. Now, the question is, what is level 2? What is the higher level of fasting beyond that? What could be better than that? What could be more difficult than that? What's the second level of fasting? The second level of fasting is, as these scholars, they call it Sawmul Khusus. This is the fast of the elite. This is the fast of those who want to really achieve high levels of fasting, and that is to stay away from sins. And do we have any evidence of this in the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ? And the answer is yes. The Prophet ﷺ, he tells us about lying. He tells us about people who fast and then they lie. And then they act upon those lies. So these people are disobeying Allah in their speech and actions while they're fasting. The Messenger of Allah, he says, مَنْ لَمْ يَدَعْ قَوْلَ الزُّورِ وَالْعَمَلَ بِهِ. Whoever does not leave off lying and acting upon that, وَالْجَهْلَ, and acting in an ignorant way, فَلَيْسَ لِلَّهِ حَاجَةٌ فِي أَن يَدَعَ طَعَامَهُ وَشَرَابَهُ. Then Allah has no need for that person to leave off his food and drink. Allah doesn't need it. Right? And of course, Allah Azza wa Jal is Al-Ghani. But the point is that you're going to violate your fast. It's not going to break your fast, but it's going to lower the reward of your fast. We all want to make sure that we get the highest level of reward. This is the second level, and that is to stay away from sins. So what this means is if you're scrolling through social media, you're not going to look at things you're not supposed to look at. You're walking through the park, you're not going to look at things you're not supposed to look at. You're not going to listen to things that you're not supposed to listen to. We all know what this stuff is. We don't need to be rocket scientists and scholars to figure out what we're not supposed to be doing. We feel it deep down inside. But when you're fasting, there should be a heightened level of awareness that, look, I'm fasting right now, so let me take a little break. And I'm telling you, if you just train yourself like this, right, throughout the month, you're going to develop what Allah Azza wa Jal tells us we are supposed to develop by fasting. Allah Azza wa Jal, He says, كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِن قَبْلِكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. Fasting was prescribed for you, as it was prescribed for those before you, so that you may attain taqwa. Taqwa is being aware of what you're not supposed to be doing and staying away from those things. That's what fasting helps you develop. That's the second level, though. The third level, there's a higher level. What is a higher level than the second? What could be higher than that? The third level is not only do you stay away from things that break the fast, like the first level. Not only do you stay away from sins, but the third level is to stay away from halal things. Now wait a second, what's wrong with halal things? The third level is not just to stay away from any halal thing, but it's to stay away from the permissible things that distract you from Allah. You can have things that are not wrong, they're not sinful, but do they distract you from remembering Allah sometimes? Yes. Are you sinful for doing those things? No. But the highest level of fasting is when whatever you do throughout the day, you're trying to just minimize anything that's not going to benefit you in the akhirah. It may not harm you in the akhirah, but you're trying to stay away from it. So that means you're going to take a break from maybe some of the hobbies that you do. Right? Of course, there's a balance. Sometimes there's a need. But to achieve those higher levels of fasting, you got to be more aware. It's not just that you're staying away from food and drink. And this is important because the Prophet ﷺ, he says, رُبَّ صَائِمٍ لَيْسَ لَهُ مِنْ صِيَامِهِ إِلَى الْجُوعِ. The Messenger of Allah, he tells us that there are some people who will fast, they will get nothing from their fast except hunger. We ask Allah to protect us from being like that. Allahumma ameen. We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla that He give us the tawfiq to have the highest levels of fasting this month. We ask Allah to accept it from us and to make it easy for us. Allahumma ameen. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك والسلام عليكم.